Okay, it's unit number 2. So last class we discussed about what about waveguide couplers. So in waveguide couplers we have the probes and loops. So probes, as already told. So in probes, see this diagram. So this is the waveguide, and the broader side of the waveguide and top of the rectangular waveguide we are inserting the probe. So probe means using coaxial cable to feed the rectangular waveguide to transmit the electromagnetic wave or to take the signal from the rectangular waveguide using the probes or loops. So probes are inserted on the top of the rectangular waveguide and broader side. So in coaxial cable, we have the two things. One is inner conductor and outer conductor. So inner conductor is inserted into the that halo. And outer conductor is connected to the the outer surface of the rectangular waveguide. So now see here. So where we are inserting that rectangular waveguide, that probe means it is the lambda g by 4 from the termination of the rectangular waveguide. That is the position. So where we are going to insert our probe on the top of the broader side. So now, and also you can say, so here this is a parallel to the electric field lines. So the probe is parallel to the electric field lines, and the distance is that is lambda g by 4 from the termination of the rectangular waveguide, right? So another way to give a signal to the rectangular waveguide, loops. So loops we are inserting the edges of the rectangular waveguide. So here see it is n lambda g by 2 from the shorter end, where the n is the integer. So here these loops are the parallel to the magnetic field lines. So loops are parallel to the magnetic field lines. So these probes are parallel to the electric field line. So loops are parallel to the magnetic field lines. So these two are the couplers, waveguide couplers. So to provide to feed the input to the rectangular waveguide for the transmission purpose, right? So then coming to the tuning screws and ports, that also explained last class. So to create a susceptance to the rectangular waveguide, to create the susceptance, that means you had a capacitance or inductance effect to the rectangular waveguide. So we are using the tuning screws and ports. So ports that also had extended ports to the micro window waveguide windows. So tuning screws, now see the rectangular waveguide here. This is the side view of the rectangular waveguide. On broader side of the rectangular waveguide, we are inserting a screw. So it's a metallic screw. We are inserting a metallic screw. So based on the depth of the penetration of the screw, so based on the depth of the penetration of the screw, so the waveguide will exhibit the either capacitance or inductance. Now see here, if the distance, the screw with insertion distance is less than lambda g by 4, less than lambda g by 4, it produces the capacitance susceptance. So less than lambda g by 4, it will produce the capacitance susceptance. If the penetration distance is more than lambda g by 4, the penetration length is more than lambda g by 4, so it will produce the inductive susceptance. Suppose you want both capacitance and inductance, so we can insert two screws. One is less than lambda g by 4, another one is greater than lambda g by 4. Then you can get the effect of capacitance effect and inductive susceptance in the rectangular waveguide, right? So this is the tuning screws. Tuning screw is a movable screw, that is a metallic screw that are inserting the broader side of our rectangular waveguide. So to create the capacitance or inductance effect in the rectangular waveguides. So these are the tuning screws. So post means it is a fixed one. So the metallic rods are fixed. So in the waveguide, now see this diagram. So it's parallel to the electric field, and so to add the inductive or the perpendicular electric field lines, it will create the capacitance effect. So now this structure, it is for the capacitance effect. It is for the capacitance effect. So if it is side walls, you can put these plates that will give the inductance effect. That will see in the waveguide windows also. Okay. So post is that is a fixed one that we are inserting in the waveguide to create the susceptance. That means maybe inductive susceptance or capacitive susceptance. For inductive susceptance, so it is parallel. The plate is parallel to the electric field line. The plate is parallel to the electric field line to add the inductive susceptance. Okay. Then coming to the waveguide windows. So waveguide windows, we are inserting the plates into the walls of the waveguide. So already I shown last class also. So we have the different types we have here. So inductive windows, capacitive windows, and resonant windows. So the resonant windows means it will create both inductance effect and capacitance effect. Okay, so now see one by one. So now see this window. This is the inductor window, inductive window. Now see, these are the lines. So here the plates are on the vertical side. This is the parallel to the electric field lines. These are parallel to the electric field lines are so vertical. The electric field lines are vertical in the rectangular waveguide. So what are the sheets we are creating? Putting, see here, this is the structure you can see in below figure also. Now see, these are the inductive type. This is the capacitive type. This is the both inductive and capacitive. Both inductive and capacitive. So this is the resonant type, parallel LC. So this is the inductive capacitive. Now see, the plates are on the side walls. The plates are fixed at the side walls. So inside the rectangular waveguide. So this is the side view. So this is the waveguide. The conducting plates were inserting in the side walls. So it will create the inductive effect. It will create the inductive effect. So the insertion from the both side walls of the two diaphragms, the resultant window is called the symmetrical window. We have the both cases, the symmetrical window. Suppose I am inserting only one side, that is called as the unsymmetrical window. So here this is the symmetrical window. Here both sides I am inserting the conducting plates to create the inductance effect. It is the symmetrical window. It is symmetrical window. Suppose I am inserting only one side, that is called as the unsymmetrical window. Unsymmetrical window. So right. So this is the capacitive, inductive window. So then capacitive window. Now see, this is the capacitive window. So I am inserting the here. So the conductive plates on the broader side. Conductive plates on the broader side of the rectangular waveguide. So now, it will provide the capacitance susceptance. It will provide the capacitance susceptance. So if you want both inductive and capacitance, inductive and capacitive susceptance in the rectangular waveguide, then you can insert the plates on all sides of the rectangular waveguide, all walls of the rectangular waveguide. So the parallel one, it will provide the capacitance, and vertical one will provide the inductance. This is the resonant one. So it acts as a band pass filter also. So this acts as a band pass filter. It acts as a band pass filter. So these are the waveguide windows. Right? So waveguide windows, we have the inductive window, capacitive window, and resonant window. Inductive window, capacitive window, and resonant window. So inductive window, so by fixing the metallic plates, so inside wall of the waveguide, so in the parallel to the electric field lines, it is the inductive plates. So if it is perpendicular to the electric field lines, now see this diagram, this is the capacitive window. If you can insert on both the sides, that is called as the parallel resonant window. It's a parallel one, resonant window, right? So is it clear? Anyone? 409? Which 409?
Yes, sir.
So what is meant by waveguide windows? How to create a inductive window? Tell me how to create inductive window. 409. 409.
Sir, yes, sir.
Now tell me how to create inductive window. So what is the structure? So in inductive window, the conductive plates are fixed on the vertical line. That is this is the broader one. This is the smaller sides of the rectangular window. Now see this diagram. So here I am fixing two conductive plates. This conductive plates exhibits the capacitance effect in the rectangular waveguide. So capacitance affecting the rectangular waveguide. So 413. 413.
Yes, sir.
Now tell me how to create capacitance susceptance in rectangular waveguides. What is meant by capacitive window? Capacitive window.
Conductive plates are parallel.
Conductive plates are parallel. These are fixed. So inside the waveguide. So at the broader side of the waveguide. Now see, this is the inside the waveguide. It's on the broader walls of the waveguide. So inside the broader walls of the waveguide, right? So 424. 424. 424. CR, please note this number. We may put option for this fellow. 429.
Yes, sir.
429, right. Now tell me what is the resonant window? Resonant window. How to create resonant window? No? So we are putting a conductive plates inside the rectangular waveguide and so both the walls of the rectangular waveguide. So that is the inductor window. Now here, so what is meant by couplers? For couplers, we have the probes and loops. So what is the probes? What is the difference between probes and loops? So probes are inserted on the broader walls of the rectangular waveguide on top of the broader wall of the rectangular waveguide. So these probes are so parallel to the electric field lines. These are parallel to the electric field lines. And so the distance from the, so they are inserting for distance from the, so lambda g by 4 from the, so cutting edge of the rectangular waveguide. Then our loops are we are connecting at the edges of the rectangular waveguide. These are parallel to the magnetic field lines. These loops are parallel to the magnetic field lines. So the location, the position is that is from the lambda g by 4 from the so walls of the rectangular waveguide. So these are the probes and loops. Then tuning screws and post. So tuning, these are to create the susceptance in the rectangular waveguide. So for that purpose, we are using the tuning screws and post. So tuning screws, so we're inserting a movable rod in the rectangular waveguide. So to create the susceptance effect in the rectangular waveguide. So depending upon the depth of the penetration of the this movable rod. So if the depth of the penetration is less than lambda g by 4, it will create the capacitance effect. If it is more than lambda g by 4, it will exhibit the inductance effect. That is the tunable screws. And the same manner, post is we are fixing the metallic plate inside the rectangular waveguide. So to exhibit this capacitance effect or inductance effect. So if the post means if the metallic rods are fixed, post is the fixed one. So it is in the broader side of the walls. It is a capacitance effect. If it is fixed in the side walls of the rectangular waveguide, it will produce the inductive effect. So from that, we have the waveguide windows. So waveguide windows are 3 categories. We have capacitive window, inductive window, and resonant window. So for capacitive window, for inductive window, so we are inserting the conducting plates on inside the rectangular waveguide in the side walls. So it will create the inductive effect. So for capacitance window, we are inserting so the conducting plates. So inside the rectangular waveguide, so with the broader walls of the rectangular waveguide, it will provide the capacitance effect. So this susceptance is increasing with the depth. So then resonant window, we are having both the plates are inserted. So both the dimension, the broader side are on the side walls of the rectangular waveguide. It will exhibit the both inductance and capacitance effect. These are the waveguide windows. So then coming to the waveguide attenuators. So waveguide attenuator. Now see, so these microwave components are special types of devices. So like our RLC, our electronic components. The electronic components are you are not they are not supporting the higher frequencies. So microwaves we are operating at the higher frequencies, that is more than 1 gigahertz. So our normal components, like what are using our amplifiers, so that like you have the components, electronic components, they are not operating effectively in the microwave frequency range. That's why for microwave applications, we have special type of devices we are using. So for transmission purpose, for attenuation purpose, for amplification purpose, for all the purpose, there is a special type of devices here. So even though for providing the resonance, so that also there is no special type of devices. Now see, there is RLC circuits. RLC circuit means resistors, capacitors, indexers. So we have the components in the electronics circuits. So that components are not useful in the microwave frequency range. So whatever the things we have discussed earlier, like our waveguide windows to provide the capacitance effect and inductance effect. So already we have the resistors, capacitors, inductors. So that will operate only for the low frequencies, but for microwave frequencies, so these components are so not useful. So for that purpose, we are using special type of components in the microwave frequency range. So that purpose, we have this waveguide components we are using, like our couplers, probes and loops, our tuning screws, post to provide, and waveguide windows. So to create the acceptance effect in the rectangular waveguide. So in the same way, so waveguide attenuators. So in electronic circuits also we have attenuators. The attenuators won't work in the microwave frequency range. That's why we're having the special type of attenuators we are using in the microwave frequency range. So what is attenuation in dB? So attenuation in dB, that is equal to 10 log. So input power by output power. Input power by output power. That is the equation for the attenuation in dB. So the 10 log input power by output power. So the attenuators are, you can broadly two types of attenuators we have: resistive card attenuators and rotary vane type attenuators. So two types of attenuators in the microwave frequency range. One is the resistive card attenuators. Another one is the rotary vane type attenuators. Now you can see one by one. So resistive card type attenuators. So resistive card type attenuators, we have two types. So fixed resistive card attenuator and variable resistive card attenuator. So here also same concept you can see here. So here there is a rectangular waveguide here. The rectangular waveguide. So inside the rectangular waveguide, so I am fixing some dielectric material coated with the carbon or aqua agar. So resistive card is basically a glass coated with carbon or aqua agar that I am fixing at the inside the rectangular waveguide, so that it exhibits some attenuation. There is some attenuation loss that is called the fixed attenuators. Like you have the in our case, in our laboratory, we have the fixed attenuators, like there is a 2 dB or 5 dB like that. So there is a fixed type of attenuators we have. For fixed attenuators, so inside the rectangular waveguide, inside the rectangular waveguide, I am fixing some dielectric material or resistive card with the manufacturing with carbon or aqua agar. So due to this one, it will provide some fixed attenuation, maybe 2 dB or maybe 5 dB, so like that. Okay, this is the fixed attenuators. Why fixed means the resistive card is fixed. The resistive card is fixed. You will observe some microwave signal. So have maybe some attenuation is exhibited by this particular device, right? This is a fixed type attenuator, and have the variable type attenuator. In variable type attenuator, now see here the rectangular waveguide on top of the rectangular on broader side, and middle of the rectangular waveguide. So I am inserting some resistive card. I'm inserting resistive card. The resistive card is parallel to the electric field lines. So that direction is so parallel to the electric field lines are like this. It's parallel to the electric field lines. So based on the depth of penetration, of this resistive card into the waveguide, so it will vary the attenuation levels. That is the variable attenuator. So variable attenuator. So here I am inserting the resistive card into the rectangular waveguide from the broader side. So broader side of the rectangular waveguide. So based on the depth of the penetration of this, so the attenuation is vary. So the penetration is more, so attenuation also more. Okay. So the resistive type attenuators are not highly accurate. There is a difference. That is very, very important point. It's not highly accurate, but it is cheaper. But it is very cheaper. But these are the frequency independent. So these are frequency independent. So high frequencies, the losses also more. So these are the resistive card type attenuators. Resistive card type attenuators. So fixed attenuator, so variable attenuator. In fixed attenuator, so the resistive card is fixed inside the rectangular waveguide. The resistive card is made up of with some glass coated with the carbon or aqua guard. So because of fixed one, so the attenuation also fixed for particular device. It may be 2 dB, 5 dB like that. So then the variable attenuator type. So this also we can see in our laboratory. So variable. Hello. So in variable attenuator type, this can see in our laboratory. So after the klystron mount, after isolator, immediately have some device. So that is called as the attenuator. It is a variable type. So we can vary the this is a tunable type. We can by varying that, so we can observe. So there is a variation in the signal levels. There is a variation in the signal levels. So this is the made up of it, the rectangular waveguide. So on top of we have resistive card. The resistive card we are penetrating into the rectangular waveguide. There is some screw to operate this one. So based on depth of the penetration, the resistor, the attenuation also vary. That is called as the variable resistive card type. This is the resistive card type. Already I told. So two types: resistive card type and rotary vane type. Resistive card type also. So two types. So fixed resistive card and variable resistive card. Right. So next we go for the second type of the waveguide attenuators. This is a rotary vane type attenuator. Rotary vane type attenuator. So in rotary vane type attenuator, now see, so there is a waveguides here. So these are two circular waveguides. Circular waveguide. This is also fixed section. This is also fixed section. So this is the variable one. This is the variable. You can vary this. So remaining all are fixed. This is one edge of the our rotary attenuator type. This is another edge of the attenuator type. So both the sides we have the fixed sections. So here the rotatable section. In the fixed section, you can see here. So inside that there is a some layer, some plate is there. Just like a resistive card. This is the you can call it the Farad type resistive card. This resistive card they have some properties. If the signal or the signal entering into this one, if it is perpendicular to this one, if it is perpendicular to this one, so there is no effect of this one on the signal that will allowed by this fixed section. Suppose if the signal is parallel to this resistive card, the signal is parallel to resistive card, that will observe the observed by this resistive card. The signal is observed by this resistive card. So that is the principle we are using here. So there is a circular waveguide. Suppose this is electric field lines. This is the direction of E, electric field lines. If electric field lines, if the wave is so parallel to electric field line, that means the wave is perpendicular to this resistive card. There is no effect on the there is no effect by this resistive card on the our wave that will travel through this one. Suppose if so the wave is parallel to the resistive card, the wave direction, that means the electric field lines of the wave, it is parallel to the resistive card, then resistive card is observed that wave, it observed that wave. So there is no output is coming from the this waveguide. So that also it depends upon the angle of the wave electric field line. It means you can assume that if the wave is in the electric field lines are like this, the electric field lines of our microwave is like this. So if this electric field lines have some angle with this one, so there may be some loss. So that is depends upon the angle of this one. That is depending upon the angle between electric field lines and the resistive card of this rotary vane type. Okay, so the completely when it is completely observed means if the electric field lines of the wave is parallel to the resistive card, that you can observe completely. If it is vertical, now see here, so the plate does not attenuate the wave in any significant manner while the E vector of the wave is so perpendicular to it. If it is perpendicular to it, so there is no absorption takes place. If it is parallel to this, there is a complete absorption by this resistive card, and that absorption also depends upon the angle also. So angle theta. So based on the angle, so the absorption takes place. That means so the attenuation also so depends upon the angle between so the electric field lines and the resistive card in the rotary vane type attenuator. So this is the rotary vane type attenuator, right? So these are the waveguide attenuators. So in waveguide attenuators, we have two types. So one is the resistor card alternators and rotary vane type alternators. Resistor card alternators, we have fixed resistor card alternator and variable resistor card alternator. In the fixed one, so the resistor card is fixed inside the waveguide. Inside the waveguide, it will exhibits fixed attenuation. In rotary vane, in variable resistor card, the resistor card is inserted on the broader wall of the waveguide. This is some screw. Based on depth of the penetration, so the attenuation is varying. So then rotary vane type. So in rotary vane type, so we have the waveguide C here. So two fixed sections, one rotorable section, then fixed sections. So inside this one, we have the resistor card. So the principle is the electric field lines of the wave is perpendicular to the resistor card. There is no effect of the resistor card on the signal. If it is parallel, so then it will observe the entire signal. So and it depends upon the angle. So the absorption is depends upon the angle. So based on the absorption, so we can say so the attenuation is varying. The same thing you can use for the phase shifters also. So same diagram. So if you learn this, you can use in both the cases. So rotary vane type alternator and also for the rotary vane type phase shifter also there. There you can see. So now coming to the waveguide phase shifter. In waveguide phase shifters, so these are the used to provide some phase shift to the our microwave signal. So see here. So compared to our electronic components, there we have the different things. Alternators are there, shifters are there. We can provide a 180-degree phase shift to 170, 270, 360. But that won't work for the microwave signal frequency. That's why we have special type of devices in the at the microwave frequency range. So to provide all these things. Okay. So here then phase shifters. So already we discussed about the probes, loops, tuning screws, posts, waveguide windows, attenuators. So then waveguide phase shifter. So this waveguide phase shifter are useful to provide. So to add some phase shift to the microwave signal. To add some phase shift to the microwave signal. So here different types of waveguide phase shifters are there. So dielectric phase shifter, skew style phase shifter, and we have the rotary phase shifters. Rotary phase shifter. Now you can see one by one. So dielectric phase shifter. Now see same as our resistor card type attenuator. Resistor card type attenuator. Here, so I'm inserting the dielectric material. So the dielectric slab that is inserting from the broader side of the rectangular waveguide. So to provide the phase shift. The phase shift is depends upon the material and also depends upon the depth of the penetration. So now see the diagram is same as our the resistor card type, variable resistor card type attenuator, variable attenuator type, right? So same thing here is using here also. So this will provide. So then coming to the squeeze type phase shifter. So squeeze type phase shifter, there is a clamping of the our waveguide. There is clamping of the waveguide. So based on the clamping, it will reduce the width. Now see the width is width. You can say A. It can reduce the width guide width A. So based on the guide width, it will increase the guided wavelength lambda g. So based on the lambda g, it will decrease the phase shift. It will increase the guided wavelength lambda g. So it will result in the decreasing in the phase shift in the waveguide. So that is the squeeze type phase shifter. Squeeze type phase shifter. So one is the dielectric phase shifter. So there is a dielectric material we are inserting at the broader side of the rectangular waveguide. Okay. So then squeeze type phase shifter. So in squeeze type phase shifter, so we are clamping the rectangular waveguide. So based on the clamping, it will vary the size, width of the rectangular waveguide. So based on the width, it will reduce the guided width. So due to reduce the guided width, increase the guided wavelength. If guided wavelength is increased, then it will decrease the phase shift of the rectangular waveguide. This is the squeeze type. So then coming to the rotary phase shifter. Rotary phase shifter, we can see in rotary phase shifter, the same diagram we are using. So what we are using there for the rotary vane type attenuator. So same diagram we are using here also. So this is the fixed type wave, circular waveguide. This is the fixed type. This is the quarter wave plate. This is the off wave plate. So quarter wave plate means the phase shift provided by the quarter wave plate is So that is the beta L. Complete phase shift is beta L. That is the 90 degrees. So this quarter is 90 degrees. This also 90 degrees. So this is the 180 degrees. So total we can provide the 360 degrees. So 360 degrees. So each one theta m. This also due to rotary variable. So this is also theta m. So complete is 4 beta L. Beta L nothing but the 1 beta L 90 degrees. Beta L is 90 degrees. So 4 beta L means completely 360 degrees. 360 plus 2 theta m. That means based each one, the complete one 90 degrees. So this is also 90 degrees. This is the 180 degrees. Okay. So this is the phase shifter. So whatever the phase shift we can provide, we want to provide the waveguide that we can add it to the rectangle microwave signal by using this rotary phase shifter. Okay. Here two cases we have. So normal component of E vector. So parallel component of the E vector. If normal component of E vector, so normal means perpendicular to E vector. So there we can have, so this resistive called beta L plus theta m. So this is also beta L plus theta m. So 2 beta L, this is beta L, this is 2 beta L. So after this, so beta L plus theta m. So this is the 2. So this is beta L, this is 2 beta L. So completely, so 2 beta L plus 2 into theta m. And this is 1 beta L. So 4 beta L plus 2 theta m. That is if the signal is parallel normal to the E component. It's parallel to E component. So in addition this, so some 90 degrees is added. So beta L plus 90 and beta L plus this is 180 degrees. So why this added means, now can observe here, it is normal to the E vector. So here 4 beta L plus 360 plus 2 theta m. Now apart from this, now 360 degrees added here. So in the case of if the E vector is parallel to the parallel component, if E vector, if it is parallel to the E vector. So parallel to the E vector means, so there is no absorption. So because of that 90, 180 plus 180 additional 360 degrees is added to the our wave, our microwave signal. So one is the normal to the E vector. Normal to the E vector that will be observed by this rotary vane type. There is some variation. If it is a parallel to that one, so this added the 360 degrees. This is 90 degrees. This is the 180 degrees. This is 90 degrees. So 90 plus 180, 270 plus 90, so 360 degrees. So this is the rotary shift phase shift. So if you can remember, if you can learn one thing, so same it is useful for the this can use for the alternator as well as the phase shifters. So alternators, so we can say that, so it depends upon these electric field lines of the signal based on the angle, there is a alternation here. So here based on the angle, so there is a phase shift. So their alternation here, so phase shift we can say, so that is the complete phase shift is resultant phase shift at the output of the phase shifter is, so 4 beta L plus 2 theta m. So each one, this is the beta L. So this is beta L. This is the 2 beta L. Okay. So these are the different things. We have the waveguide components, and we have different other components. We have the waveguide T's. We have the E plane T, H plane T, magic T, and we have directional coupler. So for up to this one type, another case you have the waveguide T's. In waveguide T's, we have the E plane T, H plane T, magic T, and have the circulator and gyrator and isolator we are using, and directional coupler. There we can see, and also we can see there what is the scattering matrix, S parameters. That S parameters give the what is the reflections in the each port of the microwave. So later I will share this one, and also you can go through the notes also. So same thing only. I'm putting as a PPT here. Okay. So after this, after next this one, we have the test for 20 minutes. So please be ready for that one. So I will share the link in the chat for your test. So please go through that. So I request you people, please switch on your cameras at the time of test. If anyone is not responding at the time, so then simply I will put 0 for them for this first test. Okay. So after this meeting, that means after this maybe it will only 1 minute is there. After that we have the test. I will share